Speaking of AI, I don't want to get you out of here before we talk about that. What do you think about AI?
Well, my husband actually, he plays in defense AI land right now. I'm of multiple minds of it. One, there's the reality that we're in, which is that AI is proliferating and going to grow continuously. And so anytime you can see a massive upswell, I think you should try to spend some time to figure it out. So I'm by no means an expert, but we're spending time thinking about how it could apply to our day to day. From like if I just talk about Chat GPT, I think, where was I listening to this? I can't remember whose words I'm stealing, but basically someone was talking about the correlation between sexlessness in the US. Something like 30% of men have not had sex in the US inside of the last year. And increasingly women and childlessness. And what I thought was interesting about that is they were saying there was a correlation between when like the dating apps, Tinder and et cetera, came into proliferation. What were they supposed to do? They were supposed to make human connection, dating, romance, eventually marriage, probably sex too, easier. And in fact, what they did is something else. They did something else entirely. And so one of the things about AI that I'm really thoughtful about is what are the second and third order effects that we don't think about? Yeah. With ChatGPT, I can tell right now when a member of my team uses ChatGPT to write a subject line. And let me tell you what, they're shitty. Subject lines are awful. Yep. They all sound exactly the same. Yep. Why? Because everybody's putting in the same inputs, so they get the same output. I think it can be really, really lazy. And so be careful, because what did Tinder and Bumble and all of that do? They made people bad at dating and lazy. And because of that, they actually decreased the likelihood that they were going to have sex. They decreased the likelihood that they could have real engagement with humans in life. And I think ChatGPT could do the exact same thing. So use it, but use it with intelligence. I think, especially in my world, which is just writing, they talk about how it's going to take over writing for everyone. And right now, this is a little bit inappropriate of an example, but we had this newsletter we had come out that was about landscaping. And so it was a tree trimming landscaping business, right? And my team came up with a bunch of subject lines, and the subject lines were like, this guy made, $50,000 in 30 days trimming a tree, or, tree trimming equals dollars, right? It was very standard Chat GPT answers. Yep. And I hated all of them. So I immediately wrote back and said, these are all awful. Come up with something better. Think asymmetric. Nothing immediately related to what this article is about. And they couldn't do it. Why? Because they had primed themselves to have bad answers. Tony Robbins taught us all about priming. Priming is just, you want to prime your body, right? Jumping on his little trampoline thing before he goes out on stage. And you're doing the same thing when you're a writer. And so before I write, I go read something totally unrelated. I might read Chuck Palahniuk, Fight Club, right? I read something totally different. And so my subject line, I'm like, okay, pick your best one, you guys. So they picked their best one. They all said, Codie, you're crazy. This is good. I go, great. Here's mine. I love guys with wood, ... Which one outperformed? Of course, mine, because it was so asymmetric, and it was not, it was something that ChatGPT would never have come up with. Yeah. And so that is what worries me about AI.
Yeah. ChatGPT is, I found the same thing. Whenever we use it for anything, copywriting, subject lines, anything like that, it's not good yet. People think it is, and it's going to be good, right? It's going to get there, but it just does not have that soul that we have to come up with the, I like guys with wood. Like, that's just, it doesn't have that yet.